When a seed sprouts, it no longer becomes a seed. Open your ears, for I have a story for you. A story of Fluy the Snuffer. In her grade school time, often desired to spend much time with her friends, but intentionally and unintentionally, expectedly and unexpectedly, they always left her out. For whatever reason they did so. And many were the efforts that she had in inviting herself amongst her friends, and inevitably led to her being left out. And in all efforts and in all times that she gave in thought to why she was always left out, yet eventually, on some day than another, was alone with many crazy captains who were 3 grades higher. And as she sat by herself, the crazy captains invited her that she lodges along with them. Hold your peace, for this story keeps going. When a seed sprouts, it is no longer a seed. Open your ears for a continued story I tell on to you. The story of Fluy the Snuffer. Invited by crazy captains who have their own unique leadership roles in the school that they all go to. So on a day, they invite her to a night study. She says unto them, "But I am in a different class, much more a different grade. What can we do together?" They laugh and say, "We'll figure it out. Come along." And so she did, and they spent night studies together, and in each of them covered between what was before, what is current, and what is after. And in those night studies, they spent a lot of time together, with lots of fun and games, and with lots of stories they shared with each other. Fluy excited about this. Again, on another day, when she is found by herself, in different days along with that one, they invite her again to afternoon hobbies. And great and crazy were the hobbies that they had in mind. For in daytime, before returning back to school, they went fishing, they went hiking, they went bungee jumping. They did many crazy activities that insomuch that by the time they returned to school, they would get tired. Of course, they made up for this in their night studies. Fluy, being a part of all those experiences, finds joy in them and in their unconventional ideas. Again, in different days, when they find her seated by herself, call her up for morning breakfasts, along with the other events they go to. And in their morning breakfasts, they make so much food that they fail to finish it, and so much that they save up the rest of it for the afternoon. And in all this, as crazy and as unconventional were the lives of the crazy captains, Fluy found it that she had a great time with them and came up with an idea. When a seed sprouts, it is no longer a seed. Open your ears for another story I tell on to you, continuing off of the story of Fluy the Snuffer with the crazy captains of her school. Fluy came up with an interesting idea. She decided to study 3 years of information, day and night, along with the crazy captains, and in all that they did, in their night studies, in their afternoon hobbies, and in their morning breakfasts. She studied twice as much. And when her other friends came about, the ones by whom she did her best to join, she came up with a final decision and said to herself quietly, "These were my friends, and I will hold them dear without enmity, but I know them no longer." And as she writes her final exams, passes beyond what is expected, and in the next year, as it begins, Fluy, having studied 3 years ahead, passed an exam 3 years ahead of herself, and found herself in the same grade as the crazy captains. And when they found her, they lifted her, they spun her around, they threw her up and down in excitement. They swung her left to one side of the classroom and right into the other. They even created space to make a seat for her. They even gave her books and shared their interesting stories from the last 3 years up to that point. A summary in a few minutes. Fluy, overwhelmed by all this, yet too excited to say anything else but laughs, as she is now joined permanently with the crazy captains, being too a crazy captain. Why do you think I told you this story?